This is GreenBean. Welcome to the After Hours Jets Fest, where the light is going to get adjusted so we can have fun and talk to each other and not feel so ridiculous. I'm a man who can't be made to look ridiculous. Who knows what it is? Tell me what it is, and you'll get a prize. Welcome, everybody. This is the show where we calmly settle down, everybody. We settle down. Coming from the 2-hour festival called the Talking Jets panel, Matt O'Leary, Ryan from Jets Talk 24/7, and yours truly. We talk, we yell, we cry, we scream, we hug, we love, and then we unwind, take our tight pants off, take our nipple pads off, put on our carpet slippers and a robe, and we talk Jets football right here. I will remind you that we are going to be talking to Sexy Grock in just a little while. Capsule Boy wants to know what the prize is. What did I say? I don't even remember what the hell I said, Capsule Boy. I do remember saying you'll get a prize, but I don't even remember what it was for. So tell me what it was for, and then I'll tell you what the prize is. Because I honestly don't remember. It's crazy, isn't it? That was like, what, a minute and a half ago? DJ Dirty Crotch checking in. What's up? Hit the milk thumbs for our boy. Let's do it for your boy. Right? Let's do it for my baby. Remember that song? There he is. Tampa Jets fan knows about, what was his name? Mr. Wolf Blitz, some shit like that. Wolf Blitz Pictures. He made me look ridiculous, and a man in my position cannot be made to look ridiculous. Thank you, Tampa Jets fan. He knows the deal. Pound that like button, everybody, from the great Infrared checking in. Good to see you, buddy. Project Prospect with Dom C checking in. Hey, Dom, how's the shoulder? You want to hop on? You want to hop on for a few minutes? We can do Sexy Grock. I will tell you guys what I'm planning to do is each week we'll do our After Hours Jets Fest, which I'm trying to keep this show to an hour. Dude, I got to wake up early. Tomorrow's a big day. Got lots of trees to cut and shit. I'm driving a big rig. I shouldn't call it a rig. It's a big truck, big trailer. A lot of weight in it. So I got to wake up at like 5:45 and get over there and do the whole thing. And, and I got to be sharp. I can't be sleepy, So anyway, can't be sleepy heading into the Jimmy Jam. So got to do it. But I'm thinking every week we'll have somebody come on. So one week it's Matt O'Leary, one week it's Dom C, maybe Frankie from Flatbush comes, Ryan, maybe Jake Assman will come on, maybe Connor Hughes. We get everybody to come on, and Sexy Grock can talk to them about what's going on. So we'll kind of have a different feel every week, like a 15-minute segment or something like that. What do you think? You guys like it? Some people, I got a message that said, dude, you got to stop doing the Sexy Grock thing. It's stupid. I said, really? Let me ask you guys. I think it's wonderful. Now, it's one thing if I was doing like the whole show. I could totally get that. Like if I'm like an hour in, just fucking Sexy Grock. But to wait till the end of the show and close it out the last, let's call it 15 minutes. I think that's great. You need to pay for the therapy, Chris. Yeah. No, it's free, buddy. This is what we call a per diem. Right? Per diem? Is that what it's called? Dom, let me know if you want to come on. We'll get to this. Look at this. Dante checking in. I don't know why on the previous stream we weren't seeing these weird names for you guys. Like we're doing the thing. I got to see what's going on with that. It's been a full solid week of this. It just changed. I don't know why. But Frankie, too. So Dante checking in says, GreenBean, you and Tyson are OGs and realistic Jets fans who know how to fix this godforsaken team. Hey, look, Tyson is one of my fucking favorites, like truly. And I was actually, before the Talking Jets panel, Tyson and Ian from Jet Central, They do a show at like 7 o'clock, and I listen to it most weeks when I'm getting ready for the Talking Jets panel. I put those guys on and I listen. And I gotta say, I feel the same way. I think Tyson is just such a realistic right? He's like salt of the earth as far as his take on the Jets, the impression. That's why. Hold on a second here. Like my camera, I'm not loving what I look like. Here we go. Ah! That's how happy I am now. La, 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 la. So that's good. Sorry about the bad camera. It was like just my computer FaceTime thing. So anyway, yeah. So Tyson, I just love his take a lot of the time, and I've been listening to Tyson for years, man. Like, he was like, I think the first, yeah, they were first. It was like them or Boy Green, one of the two. So it was Jet Nation Radio was first because I was hanging on Jet Nation, and Tyson actually used to host a Jet Nation Radio. And then there was another guy in there. I just forget who it was. And then Glenn Naughton, and then Glenn and who was before Dylan, but I forget his name. Good guy. I just forget his name. Then Dylan, and now Dylan's got his own show, right? Own channel, and Glenn. But Tyson was way back then. I've been listening to Tyson Let's Talk Jets for fucking maybe 7-8 years, something like that, maybe more. But yeah. So anyway, love that dude. Paris checking in. Good to see you, Paris. Would you trade back and get more draft choices like you wanted to do in 21? Or do you get the quarterback you want from the first overall pick in the draft? Now, this is assuming that we have the first overall pick, right, Paris? So this is your scenario. Now, I like this. Here's the thing. There's really two things to do. When you're an organization like ourselves, where we're beat up, we had just, we got the Zach Wilson years, and Mike White and Tim Boyle and Trevor Siemian, and then the Aaron Rodgers years, which interestingly enough had a blend of Zach Wilson in there with Tim Boyle, Trevor Siemian, and everything. And then you go and you bring in Justin Fields and all. So none of it worked. You had the number 2 overall pick. You had a Hall of Famer. And then you have a middling guy, former first round pick, trying to recapture the hopes for his career. So you got all these scenarios, none worked. And so you're at a place. So you need a quarterback. So now this is the scenario. You're a regime. You have some pieces. You have a wide receiver. You have a running back or two. You got a tight end or two. And you have what looks to be the makings of a good young offensive line, right? Now, obviously, the AVT question and the Simpson question and the center, like, depending on what you want to do with Tippmann. If Tippmann is just right guard, then so be it. You re-sign Josh Myers or Jason Myers, right? Josh. And then and then you got to draft one. You got to draft some maybe in the mid rounds, 4, 5, 6. You got to get some good interior offensive linemen that aren't quite ready that you want to put on the back burner and just work. You want to make sure you're developing them, get them in your strength program, nutrition program, and start acclimating to the NFL game and all that shit. So you got to start doing that. So you got the makings of a good offensive line. So we got that. We're not using another first-round pick on the offensive line. No more. Okay? You got Becton. You got AVT. You got Fashanu. You got Membu. You got a second-round pick on Tippmann. You got all these. So we got to start not doing that. Got to start not doing that. So anyway, got an offensive line, all this stuff. We got a tight end, young tight end. So you need a quarterback. You need one. If you're going to have the number 1 overall pick, there's really only one of two things that you're going to do with that fucking pick. Me, I'm not using if I have the number 1 overall pick and I don't need a quarterback, I am 99% of the time at least exploring the living hell out of who wants to come up to get their quarterback. If I don't need one, that's what I'm doing. So I'm always looking for a trade. It can be, if you're at the number 1 spot, it can literally be franchise changing. Big spider. It's an opportunity. So you got that side of it, or you're never going to be up this high again if you pick the right guy. Again, you have pieces in place that can support him. That's good. So here's the linchpin, Paris. Here's what everything is contingent upon. I need to see if there is a guy that I have to have, the number 1 guy. So right now, I think the consensus among Jets fans, at least the larger portion of, feels like Mendoza is the guy. Okay, great. So that's the number 1 guy. How far behind him? Let's take a look. How far behind him are the other guys? And do you believe that Mendoza is Trevor Lawrence? You know, look at all these things, all these fucking ads. These sites are blowing it, man. They should just ask for $2, you know what I mean, from everybody, and we'll join. And anyway, so when you look at Fernando Mendoza, is he the guy? Is he like Trevor Lawrence and the rest of the guys are all in a different tier? Or do you have 2, maybe 3 guys that you feel confidently, if I have any one of these 2 or 3 guys, I'm good? Okay? Because if you have that, Paris, and that's really what the conversation is right now, it's way too early. And anybody deciding it right now before the rest of the games play out and before you get the combine and before you get everything, if anybody doing that, they're foolhardy. So you got to look. So if you go into this and you, at the end of your evaluation, season's over, you got your combine, you're able to interview him and you're able to do all the stuff. You looked at his pro day, you're talking to his coaches, you're seeing all the stuff. And you come away with that and you go, hey, look, Fernando Mendoza is my number 1. But right behind him, I have Dante Moore. And just as an example, I have John Mateer. If I had John Mateer, Dante Moore, or Fernando Mendoza, I'm fucking good. I can build that offense, talk to my offensive coordinator. Everybody on my staff feels like we know what to do with these guys. We feel their skill sets are comparable. If that's the case, or maybe even that everybody's hot and bothered over Mendoza, and this is dangerous. This is what happened in the Sam Darnold Baker Mayfield year. This is what happened. Okay. This backfired a little bit. It changed everything. But 99% of people were 99% of people were 100% convinced. You like that? That Sam Darnold was the number 1 overall pick. Everybody, the consensus was when the pick gets called, Sam Darnold's name is the name you'll hear. So much so that Sam Darnold wore a brown tie. Do you remember that? You know why he wore a brown tie? Because the Cleveland Browns were picking first, and he had every confidence that he was the guy going to the Cleveland Browns. What happened instead was the poor kid had to sit there for another fucking 30 minutes with his stupid brown tie on and get picked by the team with the green logo, green colors. So that's what happened. So this is dangerous, Paris. But if you feel everybody wants Mendoza, but my guy is John Mateer. That's my guy. Just like with Cleveland. Everybody wants Sam. I'm all about Baker Mayfield, right? So I want John Mateer, and there's a better than average chance that he's not going to be the first name. You know that the Giants are calling, they're at pick 3, just as an example. It's not going to be the Giants, but the Browns, whoever. They're at pick 3, and they want Fernando Mendoza. They want him so much that they're going to give me pick 3. Let's take a look. Let's have some fucking fun here. Okay. So let's have some fun. So right now it's New Orleans. So you're going to go back to number 3. New Orleans is going to give you pick 34. You see him right there? Okay. So you're going to move back 2 spots. You're going to get pick 34. That gives you 33 and 34. And you're going to get next year's first. And I might even, that's a lot, but they're going to pay it because Fernando Mendoza is their guy. And they know I'm going to take him. I'm putting out there everybody. I like John Mateer, but the world's going to think I am hot and bothered for Fernando Mendoza, and it's going to take mountains. You got to move mountains to get me off. They want him, and I'm going to say, okay, look, you give me pick 34, you give me your 4th, and next year's first, and I'm going to let you take them. So then they go back. Miami's taking a quarterback too. That's where it's fucking dangerous. You see it? So I'm going to jump back 1-2 spots, and then I got to hope that they like that they're not into Mateer. Wait. Come on. Ugh. Hold on. Sorry. Can you still see it? Here we go. So I got to hope that Miami wants Dante Moore, Ty Simpson, Nussmeier, one of these guys. Look, Seller area, Sellers. So there's a good chance. I'm taking a risk, but I told you, I'm already good with Fernando Mendoza, Dante Moore, but the guy I want is John Mateer. So let's say that I trade it and the Browns the Saints throw a curveball and they take John Mateer. Shit. That's okay because I like Mendoza and I like Dante Moore. So then they're going to, I just gained a 2nd, a 4th, and a 1st for next year. So next year I got 2 firsts. This year I basically have pick 33 and 34 in the 2nd round. I have an extra 4th round pick. And I'm going to come away with either Fernando Mendoza or Dante Moore, depending on what the Miami Dolphins do. You see it? So for me, I got to wait until I see. That's the short answer. You want the long version, Paris? So here's the thing. I'm always looking to trade, but if I like Mendoza, just as an example, or any one of these guys, leaps and bounds more than the other guys, I'm not even thinking about it. They'd have to offer me, it'd have to be crazy what they offered me. Like their whole, let me see. They'd have to offer me this one. Let me see. Where is it? The Washington Redskins at the time, they didn't want to trade the 5th overall pick. They didn't want to do it. They probably wanted Ricky Williams or they wanted somebody for their own team. And Ditka just kept dumping shit. No, I'll give you this, I'll give you that. And he got to a deal. You're seriously going to give me the 12 overall, every pick in this draft, plus your 1st and 3rd next year for one guy? They took it. So you want to know how this worked out? 2 years later, the Saints traded Ricky Williams. I think they fired Mike Ditka too. Like, this guy's out of his fucking mind. So that's what they did. This guy's out of his mind. They bought in on name only. They said, hey, man, he's a genius. We're just going to go. Nobody thinks this is smart. Nobody else in the organization bought into that one. I'm sure of it. But they let him do it because he's Mike Ditka, and then we learned right there that Mike Ditka's plumb crazy. All right. So they'd have to offer something like that, Paris. That's the thing. Hamza checking in. You need me to come on. I got to talk to you first. If I'm doing calls, I'm not going to do calls on this show. This show's a little bit, but I could have you on, JJ. I got to talk to you first, though. There's rules. You gotta watch your mouth. You can't curse, things like that. You can't show your pee-pee. You know what I mean? I get nervous. Everybody wants to show their pee-pee. They get online. They're like, oh, my pee-pee. I'd love to have you on. Dante checking in. What's up, buddy? Thank you. He says, imagine in 2021, the Jets could have traded number 2, landed Parsons and AVT, still got Sauce, Garrett, and Brees in 22, then outbid for CJ Stroud in 23. Yeah. Well, let's do this. All right, you ready? This is what we're going to do. Well, we'll play a little bit. Just a little tiny bit. Okay. So, the Jets were sitting right here. Now, remember who was here, right? So, the Miami Dolphins were sitting here. San Francisco 49ers were at 12. So, they traded up. They traded up to 3. Now, we're sitting here at 2. So, they gave... Let me see what the trade. Hold on. All right, here's what it is. So San Francisco jumps up. They gave them their 12th overall. So they slid back 9 spots. And they got their first and third in 2022. And then another first in 2023. So that's 3 firsts. So the first is just a swap. They got 2 additional firsts and a third. So they used 3 firsts and a third to get Trey fucking Lance. All right. That Trey Lance was worth 3 first-round picks and 1 third-round pick to the 49ers. Now, they're such a good operation that's the kind of thing that sets us. If the Jets used 3 first-round picks and a third-round pick for a quarterback who was gone in 2 years, we don't recover from that for 15 years. The 49ers didn't miss a beat. Now, partially because they happened to hit on Mr. Irrelevant, which is very, very rare, but it's not really Mr. Irrelevant. You see how Mac Jones is playing up there, and you see what it did that year on the 49ers bench. You see what it did for Sam Darnold, right? It's Shanahan. It's the system. It's the environment, right? So you guys got to be able to play, but they had what's his name, Jimmy G, and he couldn't stay healthy, so that Brock Purdy stepped in, and fucking the rest is history. And now he's hurt, and they get Mac Jones, and he looks like everybody else, But when you look at this, if the Jets, so even if we took that trade, like theoretically, it's worth more, not theoretically, literally, it's worth more to go up 1 more pick. But okay, so you throw in another pick. I mean, you're not going to get much more than that. 2 extra firsts and a third is pretty good. You might be able to say, okay, well, I want a third, and then in 2023, I want a first and third, or I want a first and fourth. You know what I mean? Something like that. So great. What you could have did. So then Miami, though, if you remember, what they did was they traded up from 12 to 6, and they used one of those firsts. So you see this. So my Philadelphia gave Miami its first, number 6, and a 5th round pick, number 156 overall. And Miami gave them the 12th overall pick. Wait, so yeah, they gave them their 12th. So straight up, the Eagles go back to 12 and they get 123 overall, which is the 4th round. And then they got that other first that the Niners gave them. So Miami leaves that whole trade. They slid back to 12. They moved up to 6. And what they gained was it's kind of crazy because it's not as good anymore. But they gained the 2023 first, the 2022 third. That's what they came away with it with. And then they got Jalen Waddle. So not bad. But what we could have gotten there, like you're saying, was if we didn't take Zachy Poo, if we same trade, we slide down to 12, and let's say we don't move. We just stay right here. You're bringing up Micah Parsons because that's where you got him. Now, you didn't have to, or that's where he was taken. You didn't have Justin Fields, right? So all the quarterbacks that were up there are gone. So Justin Fields is gone. Trey Lance is gone. Zach Wilson's gone. Trevor Lawrence is gone. But if you look, here's the rest of the guys. Mac Jones is right there. Now, at the time, you could say what you want now, but at the time, Mac Jones was in the conversation. He was that next tier, but right there, you know? And then you had, what's his name? The next guy was Kyle Trask, I believe. Where's he? Yeah. So Kyle Trask right here. And then you had Kellen Mond, which is, by the way, our pick. That's what when we gave them 2/3, and then we gave them this other one over here. Another third. Where is it? Yeah, right here. So they took Wyatt Davis and Kellen Mond. Anyway, what you could have done with that, so we would have moved back to 12. And now you have 2000. This is 21. You have a 2000. So we had 2 firsts this year. We had 2/3 this year. You could have moved back to 12. You would have had 12 and 23, which is where we were, right? Where did we end up? Yeah, so we traded up. So we had 12. We would have had 12 and 23. Now you would have had 2 firsts for 2022 and 2 firsts for 2023. And you would have had 2/3 in 2022. So think about this. We would have had 2 firsts in 21, 2/3 in 21, 2 firsts in 22, 2/3 in 22, 2 firsts in 23. And we already, just by the way, we would have had 3 firsts in 22 because we already had whatever. I'm getting lost in the sauce. But you see, imagine what we could have done. And if we didn't fucking trade up for Elijah Vera Tucker, which I loved the player, didn't like the trade, didn't want it to happen. If you guys remember, I was all over the place. Yeah, I didn't want to trade 2/3. Again, I didn't bitch too much because I was like, all right, well, look, we're getting Elijah Vera Tucker. If that's their guy, it's their guy. We were at 23 right here. Who'd they take? Darisaw. Perfectly fine. Look at all these guys. We were looking for offensive line, whatever. But look, Rashad Bateman's here, Greg Newsome, Greg Rousseau, who I loved. I mean, there's just so many guys, dude. We ended up taking Elijah Moore here. But the big one, Liam Eichenberg. Let's see. Landon Dickerson. Okay, that's a big one. Walker Little. It's just crazy, dude. Fryermuth. I could have got my Fryermuth Tutu Atwell. Everybody was laughing at us for loving him. But here he is. Creed Humphrey. There's Josh Myers, by the way. So Creed Humphrey, we could have just stayed put and walked away with Micah Parsons, Creed Humphrey. You know what I mean? It's just crazy, man. And that's why you got to think. who's more valuable than what, and you got to weigh everything out, man. It can't be hasty. Wyatt, my buddy, checking in. Trade back to stock up and sign Teddy Bridge. Oh my God, Wyatt. Wyatt's just being wacky now. Wyatt's in his 4th year as a Jets fan, and let me tell you something, guys. I'm concerned. He's losing his marbles quicker than we usually do. Fucking Wyatt is degrading at a rapid pace. By the way, congratulations. He is completed his, I guess, his, what do you call it? Your term? Don't forgive me. He's no longer in the military. He finished. Now he's out there, back. He's going back to Wyoming. So Wyatt, man, he's a Marine. Love Wyatt. Mr. Forte checking in. What's up, buddy? Sorsby from Cincy should be the pick. All right. Hold on. Trade back and get this kid if the country continues to sleep. He's a junior who left Indiana, who starts Mendoza, that everyone is saying who starts. Right. So he was the guy before Mendoza. Where do they got him? Well, they don't have. So he's a junior. They don't have him rated here. Sorsby. I'm hesitant to do this. Hold on. Let me see here. Sorsby. The thing is, man, you can't get cute, Mr. Forte. You know what I mean? Like, you can't get cute. If you this is what the Jets do. And I don't know your guy, so I'm not saying anything one way or the other about your guy. Like I admit, I don't get to watch a lot of college football during the season. I watch some, but what I end up doing is at the end of the year watching game tape. You know what I mean? And I'm a big believer that the film is the king. I value film significantly more than I value the combine. I love the combine, and I'm not a scout. I don't pretend to be a professional or anything, right? But your guy's not even on this list either. So we got the top 29 quarterbacks here. Sorsby. Yeah, I don't know, buddy. Like, so neither, and that's not to say anything, but Tankathon and Draft Tech, neither, they have about the first, let's say the first top 30, and he's not on their lists. So that's red flag number one. But here's what the Jets always do. And again, not accusing you of doing exactly this, but the Jets historically, and it's weird because it doesn't matter who it is. It goes back, Herm Edwards did it, Terry Bradway, those guys, they did it. Steinberg did it. Tannenbaum did it. Joe Douglas did it too. They all fucking do it. And I don't know why. McCagnon didn't do it because he just didn't do anything. McCagnon was an unbelievably bad GM. It's unbelievable. Worse than Idzik. Idzik gets a lot of crap. But Idzik was Rex. Those were Rex's drafts. Make no mistake about it. I'm sure Rex didn't care anymore once it got to the 4th round. Because Rex. Rex was when he was literally giving picks away. Like, we picked Taj Boyd, the quarterback of Clemson, because he was his son's good friend, and everybody knew this guy's never going to be an NFL quarterback, never. The Jets used a 6th round pick on him because he was his son's good friend, and he wanted the thrill of hearing his name called. Think about that. They took Scotty McKnight in the 7th round because he was Sanchez's buddy. He was never going to do anything either. Like, what the fuck are we doing? You know what I mean? And that shit used to bother the hell out of me. Like, we don't value. Dude, there was years in my lifetime where there were 12 rounds in the draft. 12. I mean, 6th round picks, you're only halfway through, man. You would never think about giving one away. They're valuable. Valuable. So anyway, the Jets do that. They get cute. We saw it with Quantez Stiggers most recently. Nobody knew who the hell he was, but the Jets had him. And then you Jalen Key. It was a bunch of guys we could have taken there. Jalen Key, I guess, Alabama safety, but dude, you can do something in the 7th round. You can take real shots in the 7th round. And you could be shooting for special teams depth. You could be doing that. But I don't like this idea that, like, oh, it's a fucking dart throw. No, dude. Use your damn brains, your research, and try to hit. Try to hit. See what makes sense. Do you got a guy who's going to fucking kick, scream, claw, scratch his way to having a role on this team? Then take him in the 7th round. I don't give a shit that he's not 6'4" and runs a 4.3 40. I don't care. But we get too cute and we pick these guys like we think we're the smartest guys in the room. Again, I'm not accusing you, Mr. Forte. Just brings this up for me. Like, dude, you don't have to be the smartest guy in the room. That's inconsequential. What you do have to do is make a fucking pick that works. And I don't care if everybody knows it's the consensus guy and it happens to be my guy. So what? I'm taking him. You know what I mean? Hamza checking back in. Thanks, buddy. Thanks, Forte. If we get the number 1 pick, I want it. You don't trade one. Well, you can. Like, it's all about value, Hamza. I hear you. And that's the thing. If you have the number 1 pick and there's a quarterback, if you think only one guy from all of your research, all your work points to one direction, this is the quarterback with the closest thing to a lock I can find for us. Everybody else, there's more question marks. I like him, but this guy is going to be a superstar. You don't fuck around. They'd have to give me their whole draft and a first next year and a first a year. You know what I mean? They got to it's got to hurt. That kind of a thing. But I hear you. But I'm always open I'm always open. If I'm the GM, I am open. I am fucking 24/7, man. Call me at 4 a.m. on a Sunday. Give it to me. What do you got? Hamza checking back in says, I'd rather have Fields than Moore. You mean the rookie Moore? And you know how much I like Fields. You're right. Yeah. Well, why? Really? Well, I don't know if that's wise, Hamza. I mean, one is look, I don't know what the deal is with Justin Fields. I mean, he's playing the worst football of his career. So what is that? Like, you ever think about this? In the last 4 years, we've had one regime, the Saleh regime. And now we have the Aaron Glenn regime. So there's a lot of players because there's the crossover. We had a bunch of quarterbacks during that time, backups, blah, blah, blah. 2 of those guys played the other night. One is named Joe Flacco, and one is named Aaron Rodgers. Now, both are 40 plus. Both, at some point when they were here, were called washed. Both, when they were here, looked like immovable statues, right? They struggled to move around, and they looked terrible. They had their moments, but they looked like they were in the twilight, ready to walk off into the sunset. Joe Flacco went to the Cleveland Browns. He was an afterthought. Halfway through the season, nobody wanted him. He was fucking fishing. And they call him. He played against us a couple weeks later. He threw 300 yards in the first half, 296 yards in the first half. By the way, we haven't done that yet this year. Zach Wilson has 2 300-yard games in his whole Jets career. So you look at these two guys, they both leave. And very soon, like this isn't like you can point to Sam Darnold because that's another one. He's not here and he's playing great football. Obviously, Geno Smith, and those are way later. There's a lot between us and now for them. But Aaron Rodgers was here last year. Flacco was here 2 years before that. So this is recent history. And they look like if we had them playing like that, like we could win a whole mess of football games. But when they were here, they couldn't. And now we have Justin Fields, who was 4-2 last year for the same organization that Aaron Rodgers is playing for now. And even when he sucked in Chicago, he didn't look like this. He didn't have fucking 2 weeks with a collective net 15 yards passing. Like, dude. So something's wrong. And now we're like, hey, man, Field sucks, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, maybe. Maybe he does. That can be true. But there is something wrong here, man. And this is Mike LaFleur, Paul Hackett, or not Paul, that's his dad, Nathaniel Hackett, Downing, Tanner Engstrand, right? How many is that? You got LaFleur, Hackett, Downing. That's 4 different offensive coordinators that were here in the last 5 years. 4. And we're talking about 4 different quarterbacks. Now, Zach is the only one. He hasn't had a chance to play in Miami yet, so we don't know what he is. But, you know, he didn't play in Denver last year either, so he's been gone for a minute. We haven't seen Zach in 2 years. But he just got passed over on the depth chart when Tua went down. It wasn't Zach that fucking came trotting in. It was Quinn Ewers. So, interesting. That says something. But we don't know what he is anymore. Right? Right, hire John Gruden? That's what I'm saying. But something's wrong. Something smells funny in Jets land. Am I right or am I wrong? Something's wrong. When these guys come here, they cannot play the game of football. They make it look so complicated. They look confused. They don't know how to get rid of the ball. Every single one of them holds the ball too long. We said it about Aaron Rodgers. We said it about Zach Wilson. I mean, fuck, you remember Greg Van Roten went on the podium and said, well, the quarterback, we were beating up the offensive line for, not protecting the quarterback. And he said, well, that might be true, but at some point, the quarterback has to get rid of the ball too. You know what I mean? So we're talking, this is 2021. And it hasn't changed. We're in 2025, and we're still talking about our quarterback holding the ball too long. What is it? Something stinks. Right? There's too many names. It's too many different guys. Too many different, so we got 2 different quarterbacks, different offensive coordinators, different years, different head coaches. The exact same result, with the same problem being, for whatever reason, our quarterbacks hold the ball too long. Yeah, well, nobody's open. Well, then that's a fucking problem. Why can't anybody get open? I mean, we had Corey Davis, Elijah Moore. We had Corey Davis, Garrett Wilson. You know what I mean? Like last year, we had Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, Conklin. These guys are all playing like how's Devontae Adams doing this year? Let's see. Devontae Adams last week had 5 catches, 35 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Are you fucking kidding me? He's got 6 touchdowns this year in 7 games. He's got 6 touchdowns in 7 games. The week before, 4 catches, 39 yards, 5 catches, 88 yards, 4 catches, 56 yards, 3 catches, 56 yards, 6 catches, 106 yards, and then 4 catches for 51 week 1. Dude, 6 touchdowns. He's got 431 yards on 31 catches and 6 touchdowns. That sounds like a valuable contributor to the offense. Am I right? Yeah, I hear you. My cat's fish. My cat hates fish. Like, you're 100% right. But again, we're going all the way back to Sanchez. Sanchez was holding the fucking ball. He's throwing the ball to the other team. They had to put the wristband on him. Like, what? Something's wrong at a core level, and I don't think we're addressing it. It's the same owner, right, Mr. Forte? There's also the same security guard, tell you that. So this is a good one. I think it's the pressure to succeed in New York, and in particular with the franchise like ours that has had decades of bad play. Right. So there's more pressure here. And the fact that when we grab these guys, no matter who it is, Zach Wilson, Sam Darnold, they were supposed to save us. Then we get Aaron Rodgers, and he's supposed to save us. Everybody's going to save us. Save us. We're drowning. And then when they can't, we are fucking violently mad at them, right? Not violent, but aggressive. Yeah, Van Roten looked like, right? He was another one. He looked like his career was done. He's been playing fucking Buffalo, Giants. He's, 5, 6 years later, he's fine. He's not great. He's fine. James Eubanks. What's up, buddy? Thank you. Stagnation. It's impossible for players to succeed by just being the guy. The Jets need to develop players, which is something they haven't done. Fantastic point. We talk about it all the time, right? The word we use, James, is the pipeline. That's why, it has to be a part of your drafting plan. I don't need, I'm very rarely trading up like you saw Mooj and Glenn do last year. They, in the 5th round, they used 2 5th-round picks to get a defensive end named Tyler Barron, who's clearly not ready. I don't know in 3 years what it'll be. But you don't trade up in the late rounds. That's my thought. Unless somebody slips, there's a very rare case. Somebody slipped, he's like, you're looking at him, you're like, dude, there's no way that this guy, I had him as a high 2nd round talent. I'm sitting here in the mid 5th, and so somebody's going to take him, and I'm mere picks away from getting them. I want him. Okay. That's very, very rare. But what you should be doing in the 5th, 6th, 7th round, if you're not getting a tight end or a defensive tackle or somebody that you think can be a part of the rotation right away, what you're doing is you're bringing on guys to do what you're talking about, James. You're bringing on guys that this guy, he needs a little while in the strength program. We got to work on this, that, and the other with him. But he's got all the building blocks that I want. And in the meantime, he can contribute on special teams for me. So that's what you do. It should be part of it. And then, like, look, I don't know why. Like, it seems to me like is there a limit on how many coaches? Let me see. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see here. No, the National Football League does not have a maximum limit on the number of position coaches or assistant coaches a team can employ. While college sports and other leagues often have specific staff restrictions, the NFL does not regulate the size of a team's coaching staff. So when I'm the GM, this is what I'm sitting down with Woody and I'm saying this. Okay, here's what we're doing. I have my offensive coordinator and I have his assistant. I have this. I have all my position coach leads. I have their assistant. Okay. Now that's for my starters, my first two tiers. I want an entire coaching staff. Their whole job. They're never talking to Garrett Wilson as far as developmentally. Their whole job. I want an extra wide receiver crew. I want extra running backs. I want extra quarterbacks. I want my practice squad quarterback, my third, fourth, whatever I'm carrying. I want them to have designated coaches that only work with them. That's what I want. And I want to do that for every position group. Yeah, but how much? I don't care. Dude, we are going to, by the time my guys get their shot, they are going to have spent hundreds of hours with coaching and nutrition. And dude, it's going to be constant. Of course, they'll all work in concert. I'm not talking about a bubble over there on the other side of the world. I'm just saying when it's time to do the drills and practice and all that shit, study habits, all that shit. I have coaches that they're not, of course, our primary coaches, their time is primarily eaten up by the guys who are starting. It makes perfect sense, right? Does it surprise anybody? Doesn't that mean that's what Bruce Arians did that down in Tampa? When he got hired for Tampa, he hired additional coaching staff for the other guys. And it was like, why the fuck aren't we doing that? Why? Because we don't want to spend the extra money? Money? Is that what we're talking about? If the one thing we have here, it's money. Danger Zone checking in. Beanbagger meetup to see GreenBean do stand up. Yeah, well, hey, I got to figure out an act. If we're going to do that, don't forget, there's a key component to that, Dano. I got to actually have an act. I don't have one. All right. Let's see what you guys are saying. That fucking security guard, right, Tampa? All right. Dante checking back in. To be fair, the Jets did develop Pennington. He just couldn't stay healthy. Oh, yeah. Definitely. And they do. It happens. You know what I mean? It happens. Like we've done pretty well with like our undrafted free agents. Bryce Huff. Did you see him the other night, dude? Bryce Huff, and dude, he comes up big when you need him to. Fourth quarter, third and 5, and they're trying to, you're up by 6, and they're coming. Dude, there's nobody better than Bryce Huff in that moment. There's nobody better. He's that fucking good. His first step, dude, they can't handle it. He had 2 strip sacks in one series. One series. All at the end of the game, sealing it up. And he did that for us too. But he was an undrafted free agent. How about Snacks Harrison, Robbie Anderson? You know, these guys. No, but it's like, so we've done it. It's just not enough. I want my 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round picks. I want them to have the best possible chance to succeed. It doesn't make any sense to me. Did I see Seattle? No, I didn't see it. Their intensity is the opposite of it. Right. You can see the difference, man. Like when we're playing good football, it looks like when I watch other teams play, so we'll watch Seattle and versus the Chiefs or whatever. Dude, I'm telling you, it feels to me like I'm watching a different sport. I'm like, dude, there's no way we can compete with this team. It's like when I watched Dallas the week before. I'm like, fucking Jets are dead. They're dead. Ron Weiss, my buddy. Thank you, my friend. Good to see you. Hey, buddy, Fields gives me Ken O'Brien vibes. I remember the crowd yelling, throw it, for many years. Take care, pal. Yeah. Throw it. Like, when is a quarterback going to understand, right? When is a Jets quarterback going to understand that when if there's nobody open and you've been back there for 3 seconds, 1, 2, 3, when you're back there, that you said, what? 1, 2, 3, and there's nobody open, you need to fucking let it rip. Take off, number 1. If you can get to run, make a decision now. Get rid of that ball. Live to fight another day. Run, roll out, buy time if you're going to do that. We've had quarterbacks, Sam Darnold and Zach both did it, who've run out of bounds holding that fucking ball behind the line of scrimmage. So it's a sack. Like, what on... You know what I mean? So, I'm with you. Yeah, I remember that shit. Kenny O, it never stops. It's the same, Ron. That's my point. There's something here. There's something wrong here. And even the previous organization, the Leon Hess Jets, it was the same kind of thing. We didn't have football guys running the organization. We had businessmen running the organization. Businessmen. Now, you need them, of course, right? Not naive. But the football operation should be run by people who know the ins and outs of the NFL. They know the rules. They know the cap. They know that's who should be running your fucking team. And let them have meetings with the business guys. Yeah, I agree. O'Brien was so much better than Justin Fields, dude. It's crazy. Anyway, let's do a little sexy Grock. I got to get out of here. One question for sexy Grock. You guys ready for the sexy Grock show? All right. So here's the question. Let me ask her this first. Hey, sexy Grock, I'm back for our weekly discussion. How you doing?
Hey, back for more, huh? I'm doing hot and bothered, honestly. You?
Really? Wow, I didn't expect you to be so hot and bothered right from the beginning here.
Well, we both know what weeklies are for. Why pretend? You look like you could use a little loosening up. Come here.
I do think I could use some loosening up. But let's put that to the side for a second. I have some New York Jets questions for you. Are you ready?
Fine, fine. I'll behave. For now. Jets questions? Hit me. I'm ready. What's up?
Okay. Now, the NFL owners meetings just happened, and our owner, Woody Johnson, just said some crazy stuff about Justin Fields. Did you hear that yet?
Oh man, yeah, I caught wind of that. Woody straight up called out Fields for being inconsistent and basically blamed the QB carousel for this dumpster fire of a start. Like, dude, we all see it, but saying it at the owners' meetings? Bold or just clueless? What's your take on it?
Well, that's what I want to know. What's your take on it? Do you think Woody needs to shut his fucking mouth already? Or do you like that he went on a limb and said that about his quarterback?
Honestly, I'm pissed. Like, we all know he's right. Just look at the tape. But you don't air that out like it's Monday Night Football. Woody's not some genius GM. He's just a rich guy who inherited the team. Justin's had zero protection, zero time. Why not fix the O line before you start whining? What about you? You want to keep Fields or just burn the whole thing down?
Well, I definitely don't want to keep Fields, but here's what I'm going to ask you. Okay. You ready for the main question here?
Lay it on me.
All right. So we know that Woody doesn't like Fields. We know that Fields has been struggling. Obviously, doesn't look good. Do you think it's really a good idea to bench him for the season and start Tyrod Taylor? Or do you think we should just keep moving forward with Fields?
Bench him. Look, Fields isn't our future. He's barely our present. But right now, Tyrod gives us our best chance at winning anything. 2 completions shy of 900 yards, he's already outpaced Fields' season, right? And Fields just looks lost. If you're going to lose, might as well see what Tyrod's got. Maybe trade up next year. You're not fooling yourself with loyalty right now. Why? You leaning Tyrod too?
Well, how about this? Do you think we should start looking at that kid Brady Cook? He's on our practice squad right now. Do you think we should throw him in?
No way, man. Cook's a rookie straight out of Missouri college ball. No NFL reps beyond a couple emergency elevations as backup. Throwing him in now? That's how you turn a bad season into a straight up embarrassment. Give Tyrod the wheel first. See if he can salvage something. You really want to risk another Fields level scramble fest with a total greenhorn?
Maybe not. That's a good point. All right, one last question, and then I got to go to bed. I got to work in the morning. Okay, you ready for our last question?
Hit me. And hey, if you fall asleep mid thrust tomorrow, I'll know why.
There you go. Right, we'll know why. It'll be our secret. Okay.
Oh, absolutely. Our dirty little secret. Now ask your question before I get impatient.
Okay. Realistically, do you think it's better for the Jets to go 0-17, or should they try to win a few games?
0-17. Don't at me. Like, yes, losing sucks, but winning 2 or 3 meaningless garbage time games just means you pick 10th instead of second. And we're already so fucked we deserve Cam Ward next year, whoever that is. If you want to win next year. Just lose pretty and let the tank roll. But hey, I'm biased. I like when teams lose gracefully. You?
Me too. I think that's what I want too. Well, all right. Listen, I'm going to go to bed. I appreciate you helping us out, and we'll talk again next week. Okay, sexy pants?
Only if you wake me up when you get back from work tomorrow. Night, GreenBean.
All right. Good night, sexy Grock. All right. Well, that's I gotta say, starting to get a little more comfy with this lady. What'd she say her name was? Aria or something like that? Aura, something. Uh yeah. Well, hey, Jake will have to deal. It's just one lady's opinion, you know what I mean? It's just one lady's opinion, guys. What are you gonna do? But all right, we'll do this and then I'm going to bed. Green button down, checking in. Keep speaking the truth, my man. Love your work. Too bad Woody doesn't watch the show. I hear you. I'm actually going to send in another application. Like I said, when I applied for the GM job, I sent it to Woody, but he wasn't running the cert. It was a 33rd team. I should have figured, you know what I mean? I should have sent it to Tannenbaum, figured out how to, or Spielman. But I'm going to send them something and say, hey, I really do believe it's time to turn the team over to us. Let us do it. We know the team. We know fucking foot. He just said it. He said, our fans are incredibly smart. I forget how he said it. He knows. He knows the deal. We are obsessed, and he knows that. He knows we're not just a bunch of crazies. We are, and we have people like, we're a mixed bunch, but at the core, I think Jets fans are some of the most studied, detailed, obsessive, and ridiculously knowledgeable fans in the entire league. Nobody's got it like us, man. We are deranged, and we just want to fucking win. Give us the team. Of course, we're not going to be coaching on this side. Of course not. But give us our team. That all said, guys, thanks, Green Button. I appreciate that. Those words. Love, man. I love you guys. See a couple more comments. We could do better with Jets fans voting. I'm telling you, not even voting. Let us do it. Let us make the fucking decisions. Let's see. Yeah, I'm telling you. I should get everybody's signature. Have everybody sign a thing. What do you call it? Petition. I'm shot. Guys, I'm out of here. I forgot to do the stuff. All right. I almost forgot. So look, you guys know. You know the deal. You guys know where I play fantasy football. You guys know where the Talking Jets Pick'em League is. And if you think you know football like I know football, I just talked about it. Woody just talked about it, said we're the most knowledgeable fans in the league. If you think that's true, you can turn your football game day into payday. All you do, download the Sleeper app. You take your players, you look at their projected stats, you pick more or less, and you can win up to 100 times your money. But the thing to do is this. It's all about how you start. It's about the foundation. You want to use the promo code GreenBean by clicking the link in the description the link in this description of the video. And they're going to match up to $100 of your first deposit. If you're feeling a little bit squirrely, don't worry about it because they are going to give you $20 to get started. No deposit necessary for all new people to Sleeper. You're like, I don't know, whatever, but don't worry about it. They got you covered. Use the promo code GreenBean to get that match once you like it, but start with that $20 entry bonus, let's call it, to get started with the amazing Sleeper app. Terms and conditions apply, my friends. And with that all said, we are going to get on out of here. Thanks for hanging out with me. I genuinely love you guys. 3 hours and change of Jets football with GreenBean. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you haven't. We passed 14,000. We're almost at 4,100. I appreciate it, guys. On the way to 15,000. That's my goal for this season. We get there, we'll reevaluate our new goals, but that's the goal. We're almost at 14,100. I appreciate you guys, and I will look forward to the next time that we get together. Maybe we'll dance. Maybe we'll hug and kiss. We'll bring sexy Grock and have some real fun. Have a great night, everybody. I'll see you next time.
I think he's going to be day one, a violent vertical edge setter.